From the News Channel 8 studios, Let's Talk Live with your hosts, Natasha Barrett and Doug McElway.
Welcome to Let's Talk Live. Today, we're going to explore some friendships that you need to have.
Yes, apparently these are ones, everybody tries to put their romantic relationship as, it should be the be-all and end-all. But I've read that you need friends to fill those voids, The husband, the wife can't do it all.
The romantic stuff doesn't work unless you have those other components, other relationships as well.
Apparently there's 8 kinds of friends that you need to have, so we're going to break it down in just a little bit. Also, a desire disorder that women face. We're going to tell you about a new drug that may improve that condition. You probably have plenty of people in your life that you would consider friends, but there's a select number of people that need to be in your life to improve your health.
Clinical psychologist Dr. Maia Coleman-King joins us now to tell us about some of the friends that you really need to have. Thank you very much for coming in. Good to see you again.
Thanks for having me. Good to see you too.
How important are friends? I mean, we all have, or try to have our lovers or our spouses, but friends are just as important?
Absolutely. Friends are essential because they provide a sense of social support. And as humans, we all kind of seek that connection with others, and it kind of makes us feel, when you need help, whether emotional support or physical support to accomplish a task, it's really important.
As a psychologist, you know about the phenomenon of codependence with spouses or loved ones, where you almost start to assume each other's identity and maybe even personality, and you lose yourself.
Exactly.
And do friends validate yourself, your own specific personality?
Good friendships do. You mentioned an unhealthy relationship in terms of the codependency. A good friend is going to be supportive when you need them, whether you're going through a good time or a difficult time. Good friends may support you, for example, a workout friend, somebody's going to help you, get in shape and maybe stay healthy. Spiritual friends may help you build that spiritual connection with yourself. So there's certain friends that you need in your life to kind of get that balance.
We all need that. Now, a recent article came out online that says 8 friends who you need that could possibly make you healthier. Let's talk about these essential friendships. Number 1 on the list is a childhood friend.
Right, a childhood friend can keep you grounded, remind you where you came from, let you know, hey, you're still the old, good friend. Remember back in the day when, these great times, to kind of help you remember where you came from.
I think a lot of people lose touch and they think, well, childhood was childhood. It's okay if I'm not in touch with that person, but it could actually bring something back to you?
Certainly. We learn a lot from our past. Hey, I've experienced that before. Remember, I overcame that the first time I went through it. So you might have that friend to remind you, hey, you can do this.
Essentially, I do have a couple of really close friends who I knew as a child, or at least as a teenager anyway. And I find those guys, even if I don't see them for years, when I do see them,
you
just pick up right where you left off. There's no catching up. It's just like the same person. I know where you're coming from. He knows where I'm coming from. We can continue the conversations if nothing was missed.
Or it's okay that you're not always in touch. You're there for each other.
Right. Maybe you only need to speak every month or two, or just connect through an email or a text message, but you don't necessarily get to see that person. But those kind of connections are very important.
Okay, we all think, I've got friends, Doug has friends. Do I really need a new friend?
New friends are great because they can expand your social network. They can introduce innovative, things. You may find out, hey, I've never been bowling before. I just met this new colleague at work who loves to bowl. So now they're expanding your experiences and different opportunities that you can have. So new friends can be great as well.
How about friends of an opposite sex?
This could get interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. You don't want to cut yourself off, and just because you're a female, you can only have female friends if you're married. Actually, if you become friends with your spouse's friends, that actually can tighten the bond you have with your spouse, because now you and your partner can socialize together.
Or maybe you understand their friends, like if they have the friend that's a woman, you have a friend that's a man, they know each other, there's more trust there.
Some good advice.
Yeah, good advice, but also I know who they are, I know what they represent, their values, so you're more comfortable if they're going out and it's the opposite sex.
There you go.
The trust.
There you go. Well, trust is important in any relationship, so if you don't have trust, then that's a whole nother issue.
Right.
But I definitely wouldn't suggest that because you're married, you can't have opposite sex friends. That would be very unhealthy.
What's a boundary you should not cross, though? I mean, we know what the obvious ones are, but it's a fine line.
Well, I think when you can't be honest with your partner. If you're going out with this opposite sex friend but you lie about it, you're not truthful about where you're going or what you're doing with that person, then you know that should be a red flag to yourself that, why can't I be honest about what I'm about to do or who I'm going to do it with?
Why am I holding
How
back?
about if your significant other objects to you going out on a date with a close friend or something like how do you, and it's really important to you, and you see that as a destructive thing in your relationship if the other person doesn't want you to do that, how do you broach the subject? How do you get them to come around to your line of thinking?
This is an opportunity for you two to communicate, because if it's very important to you, then they need to know that, and you need to find out what is their apprehension, what are they worried about, why can't I go? Is there's so there's some issue there that you need to really get to about why they're insecure about you going out with this person.
I think some people just really get into fights over this and arguments and say, I can do what I want. I might be married, but I'm still a person, and they don't explore that.
Right, and that wouldn't be the way to do it. Just to say, I'm an adult and I can do what I want to do.
Right.
That wouldn't be the way to do it. Find out why, what's going on with you. Why is this a problem for you? Because maybe it's an issue that you haven't even addressed.
The next one I want to talk about is a younger friend. Someone maybe even 10 years younger than you. You would think you wouldn't have a lot in common, but... No,
it's a great opportunity for you to maybe lend a hand, give some advice. Hey, 10 years ago, my children were young, and I was trying to balance, work life, home life, and all of that. Now there's an opportunity for you to reach out and kind of help somebody and give some advice, and it's great to feel needed.
I have a lot of younger friends too, and I find that it makes me feel younger.
There you go.
It keeps you going.
It does.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And can keep you, with the latest trends, whether it's technology or fashion or whatever have.
The other two, there's a couple on the list that they're pretty obvious. A workout friend, a spiritual friend. The list also concludes with yourself.
Of course, that's the most important friendship you should have, because if you're not in touch with yourself in terms of your own desires, your own passions, how do you know how to reach out to someone else? If you don't know what you really enjoy, if you're not fulfilled and pursuing what's going to make you happy.
My wife, just this past weekend, she said, would you mind if I go out with a bunch of girlfriends to a movie and go have a dinner and some snacks and stuff like that, and you be the babysitter? And I said, go ahead. She came back so happy. So I was just like, you should do this more often.
It was good for you too.
It was great for everybody.
Absolutely.
Good to have that time to recharge.
Absolutely. It's very important, because those who are kind of cut off from communities and cut off from others, a lot of times they may be suffering from an affective disorder like depression. So people who are depressed tend to, not have a good social network, don't get out, and don't connect to others.
All great advice.
Good to have that time. Dr. King, we appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Good to see you.
Up next, food you love that you can enjoy in a little smaller size. It's all about portion control with our wellness expert, Miss Mary Major.
Also, we're going to tell you how you can spend next Monday with your family giving back to the community. Details on a volunteer service project going on in Fairfax.
And if you want to see any of our segments again today, they're on our website right there, letstalklive.tv. We'll be right back.
Dave Lucas on News